Donald Trump just said the quiet part out loud again. This time, it wasn't about policy, or even the courts. It was about power, permanent power. Trump is openly teasing the idea of a third term. And what's worse, there's now real evidence that Republicans have a strategy to make it happen. This isn't just ego, it's a constitutional crisis in the making. Trump's been joking about staying in office for years, but his latest remarks aboard Air Force One don't sound like jokes anymore. When a reporter asked if he'd rule out a third term, Trump's smirk said everything. Let's listen carefully to what he actually said.
If you read it, am I not ruling it out? You'll have to tell me.
One theory on how you might try to serve a third term is that you could run as the vice president.
Yeah, I'd be allowed to do that. I think the people wouldn't like that. It's too cute. It's not, it wouldn't be right.
That wasn't an offhand remark. It was a test balloon, a way to see how far his base and the right-wing media will let him push the line between hypothetical and dictator. He's already surrounded himself with lawyers and operatives looking for loopholes to challenge the 22nd Amendment, the very clause that limits presidents to 2 terms. And even some of his former insiders are sounding the alarm. On The View, Trump's ex-communications director, Farah Griffin, warned that when Trump starts hinting like this, it's never random.
So I say don't rule out what he is saying. I also know Donald Trump well enough to believe this is not a guy who's going to be a lame duck after the midterms. He's not going to be like, oh, let all the center of gravity shift to J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio while he fades into the distance. So it's something to keep an eye on. I find it concerning.
Concerning is an understatement. Trump's entire political machine is built on loyalty, not legality. And as Navarro pointed out, when nobody in his party pushes back, he keeps testing how much authoritarian power he can get away with.
Part of the reason he's done crazy abuses of power is because he can. Because he's getting away with it without any pushback or oversight from Republicans.
If you think the courts will stop him, think again. Former prosecutor Sunny Hostin gave a chilling reminder that the Constitution only protects democracy if those in power choose to uphold it.
We put this into the Constitution for a reason, but when you asked Sotomayor that question, she said, well, it hasn't been tested. And that told me everything that I needed to know, because I think that she is a very faithful constitutionalist. I think that she also understands that the Constitution can be interpreted as a living and breathing thing, as opposed to just sort of this thing that was written eons ago. And so I think, you know, many people who say there's no way he would do it, well, those are the same people that said the Supreme Court is never going to get rid of Roe v. Wade. Those are the people that said things like, he's never going to have these mass men disappearing people all over the country. Those are the same people that said, oh my goodness, are you kidding? He's never going to get rid of the Rose Garden. He's never going to get rid of the East Wing. He's done everything that people thought that he would never do. I actually have come to the conclusion that he is most definitely going to try to remain in power, because remember that East Wing, it's going to take a long time to build that. He is hooking up the White House because he doesn't plan on leaving it.
If even a Supreme Court justice acknowledges that the issue has never been tested, that's an open invitation for extremists to try. And behind closed doors, Republicans have been preparing for exactly that. A leaked CPAC memo outlines possible constitutional workarounds to extend Trump's presidency, from claiming emergency continuity to pushing an amendment through red state legislatures. The point isn't the amendment itself. It's the mindset. The GOP's leadership no longer hides its authoritarian ambitions. When you can't win elections fairly, you move to rewrite the rules of democracy. Trump's approval is at historic lows. He's lost independence, alienated farmers, and watched the economy crumble under his tariffs. Yet his allies still speak as if his rule should be endless, not because he's strong, but because they fear losing power once he's gone. The greatest threat to democracy isn't Trump alone. It's the system of enablers and apologists that keep normalizing his delusions. If you believe in term limits, free elections, and actual accountability, now's the time to speak up. Follow this channel, hit the notification bell, and tell us in the comments, how far do you think Trump will go to cling to power? Because this time, his jokes aren't funny anymore.